What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about SwiftCoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. The reason why I'm talking about SwiftCoin again today is that XCN, Onyx Coin, I think, is very, very near breaking out of its bull flag. And for whatever reason, these coins are not in the same niche, whatever you want to call it, space in crypto, right? They're kind of in their own sectors. But for whatever reason, they move up together. It seems as though they do. This consolidation phase does not seem very similar to like this consolidation phase here. I mean, you consolidated like this all the way down just to move up and form a little bull flag. Didn't you just do the same thing with SwiftCoin? I mean, they look very similar. It's eerie. And whenever Onyx Coin moves up, whenever SwiftCoin moves up, the other one tends to move up as well. So if I'm expecting Onyx Coin to move up, I think SwiftCoin could, as early as today, if not over the coming days, be moving up as well. So I just figured I'd make this for the sense of urgency alone that. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you're looking to get into SwiftCoin, it's probably a good time to get in. You're not going to find a lot of people that say that, right? Because you're sitting on the top of this 164% pump from the low to the high. You know, you're up here still, or I guess not up at 160%, but you're still up 80% from your relative low here, which was about a week ago. Week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, however long it was, very short time ago. It might not seem like the most ideal area to buy, but really what you're doing is you're flagging out. You've got a bull flag here. You're in the midst of a pattern that likely will continue this movement forward. Take you to prices that are at 3 cents or beyond, maybe even above 4 cents. I have a suspicion that SwiftCoin here will see a move that takes it beyond its measure move of the bull flag, but we'll get to that. You're finding support here at a prior area where you found resistance right here, where you found support right here, where you found support right here, where you found some resistance right here. It's a relatively significant area. It's a great time to buy. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not telling anybody to buy here. I'm just saying it's a great time to buy. If you're looking to buy, it's a great time to buy. No, it's not the most ideal time to buy. It would have been more ideal. You had so much time to buy at prices that were lower than this, but if you didn't take it, this is kind of that last call. It's harder to buy something in the face of death than it is whenever you get some breath of life in you. But I will say that moving up to the 382 like this, moving up above the 382 to the 0.5, consolidating below the 382 like this, it's very bullish. Oftentimes with the 382, you actually find resistance and come back down to the 236 or lower and find support. The fact that you didn't even hit the 236 to me is a testament of strength, and it likely indicates that you are going to the golden ratio and potentially even higher. Oftentimes, when you consolidate like this below the 382, you actually do see a move that pierces through the golden ratio. Oftentimes, whenever you, before interacting with the golden ratio, have some interaction with the 0.5, that also gets you set up for prices at the 786 and 886. So just be aware of that. If we're looking at this here as a bull flag, and I think it is a bull flag, from the relative low to the relative high of the pole, okay, we put this at the base of the flag for the measure move. That takes you right above the 786. Right there at about 3.2 cents. And that's the measure move. That's the breakout expected target. So again, it really wouldn't surprise me if you did exceed the golden ratio. Now, whenever you do this, whenever you break through the golden ratio, a couple of things are possible, right? One, you go right to the 786, you find some immaculate resistance. It's very common when you tear through the golden ratio on the first attempt. If you stop at the 786, it's very common to actually pull all the way back to your 236. So that could imply some volatility for SwiftCoin. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, even if you do find resistance here, which is very possible. I think that could happen, that you find resistance here, but I don't think you're going to go all the way to the 236. I think you'd find support either at the golden ratio, the 0.5, maybe even the 382, but there will be some volatility, right? Make no mistake, even if you were just from the 786 to drop down to the golden ratio, I mean, that in itself is a 27% drop, let alone anything lower. So it's going to be volatile if you stop at the 786. If not, if you go to the 886, which is also possible, right? This is kind of a range in itself. If you go all the way up to the 886, something like this, I would say that absolves you of going to the 236. You could still go down to the 382. But you have a better chance at this rate up at the 886 to find support at the golden ratio or even higher. Sometimes in very bullish circumstances, you find support at the 786 and you consolidate between the 786 and the 886 before ripping higher. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but again, the measure move for this thing would take it all the way up here. My expectation for SwiftCoin is you actually go above it. So I'm looking for that 886, 3.8 cent price area personally, but just the expectation that you could stop around 3.17 cents is also there. And you don't even have to hit the measure move. You could stop short of it, but I think that you'll hit it and exceed it personally. That's my expectation. What we want to see on a 4-hour basis here is that whenever you start breaking above this downward sloping trend line here, whenever you break out of your flag to the upside, when you get above about 1.45 cents, when you see that, you want to see some volume starting to come in. You want to see some carrying on, some follow through with this, right? It's okay if you break out and you dilly dally a little bit. It's okay, and you don't have a lot of volume. But as you start to progress higher, as you get above these highs here, you want that volume to come in every step of the way up. You want that volume to come in. So we don't need crazy volume. It doesn't have to be this big, but just something bigger than average. We need it to grow. We need the volume to grow as the price is growing in order to substantiate this movement. Okay. 4-hour RSI, getting overbought, not getting oversold. That's a good look. Higher lows overall. I like it. Rejecting the 60 is not necessarily a good look, but you're in a position now where you're still in good shape, and I think that you can turn things to the upside. Looking at the 1-hour time frame, very neutral. Very, very neutral. Kind of have a flat base here. With descending highs. It's not the most friendly look. Let's prepare ourselves, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but prepare yourself for a little drop. Perhaps you do return back to 1.34 cents, 1.32 cents. You're at 1.36 cents now, so that's not that dramatic. At the lowest, 1.26 cents is what I could see you doing. I don't think that you go to 1.26 cents, but you could. And I also don't believe that you go lower than this low. But if you were to go down back to 1 cent to 1.1 cents, you're fine. SwiftCoin's not broken. Every target that I've mentioned is still on the table. It's just going to take more time, right? You've got to go down first before you go higher. And I think I speak for a lot of people in the SwiftCoin community and the Onyx Coin community that if Onyx Coin happened to move up and SwiftCoin moved down, that wouldn't be a bad thing. You could play a little rotational game here, man. I mean, if Onyx Coin sees its move and then SwiftCoin is coming down during that same time, I mean, that's an easy rotation right there, man. I'd get out of there and just get right back into here and then catch that one on the way up while this one's going on the way down, you know, something like that. I think that'd be a prime setup, but I just don't think it's going to happen because, again, these things, they kind of move in tandem for whatever reason. Looking at the daily time frame, I really like the RSI here. Getting out of the overbought zone, hitting the overbought zone, getting into it for a couple of days there, and then finding support at the 60. This is a nice look. That's a very pronounced movement up to this overbought zone, and that tends to promote some good stuff to follow through. If we look at this on a 3-day perspective, the RSI is getting above the 50. Which is nice. You got overbought here. You did not get oversold. You have a lower low in the RSI. You can see it's lower lows here with higher lows in the price. It's hidden bullish divergence. You got a lot of good things going for you, SwiftCoin. If we look at this relative, I want to take this low actually. Let's take the low from August to this high here. Tipped the golden ratio, finding resistance at the 382. Again, guys, when I tell you that you could go to 1 cent and be fine, you really could. If you go to 1 cent, you're fine. You're still fine. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't think you go there. I'm just saying if you do, you're fine. Once you get above about 1.5 cents, though, it's on. When you get above 2.3 cents, you're validated as the low. And not only are you validated as the low, but you're validated as going above this high. When it comes time to going above that high, when it comes time for price exploration, which might be sooner than you think, it really wouldn't surprise me if SwiftCoin was at new all-time highs by the end of April. But I would more expect that to be saved for sometime in May. But whenever it is time for new all-time highs, your first target is 7.7 cents. 10 cents, 14 cents, this is your primary target zone between the 1618 and the 1272. I doubt that this is all you have in store for you. I do believe that you go higher. But you never know. Things can change, right? Things don't have to go exactly how you think. Even at 7.7 cents from the current price of 1.3 cents, that's still phenomenal growth. That's still above the average coin. That's 5.7x right there, right? If you go to the 1618, that's at about a 11x, 10x move right there, right? If you go higher and you see the same targets that Onyx Coin's seeing, which I think would be its 1886, that puts you around about 24 cents to 29.4 cents, something in that area, and that gets you set up for a move that's closer to a 20x than anything. Could you go higher than that even? I suppose you could, SwiftCoin. You really could. You've got a low market cap, and you've got a good community, and you've got good fundamentals behind you. I think that if the crypto space recognizes that, and there's some hype that comes into this, the right narrative gets built, I think that you really could see prices all the way up at 50 cents, literally at 50 cents by the end of June. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I just accept it as a possibility. You could see some crazy, crazy growth, man. But what I'm thinking most likely is going to happen is that if you were to stop anywhere, at a minimum, I would think 14, 15 cents. And likely, I mean, at a likely maximum, 30 cents, but likely somewhere around 24 to 30 cents, somewhere in that kind of area there is what I would expect. If we look at SwiftCoin, we can compare SwiftCoin to Bitcoin real quick. I'm going to leave that one up because I want to see it. And actually, we'll leave that up too because we're going to do that. SwiftC to BTC. We'll just have to make our own. Let's see. SwiftCoin, Coinbase, crypto. We'll use Coinbase, yeah, and then we'll do BTC, USD. On Coinbase too, sure. We don't need all the data because it doesn't exist that long. Anyways, where SwiftCoin to Bitcoin is going to go, if I had to guess, would be that you do see new highs relative to this, right? You probably do see new highs. High to low here. This might be thrown off. Yeah, it's just too weird. Maybe I will have to use one of the Justin Sun options. SwiftC. Shout out to Justin Sun on that note. I reconstructed my altar to Justin Sun, you guys, if you know what I'm talking about. If not, don't worry about it. HTX. Okay, so this is a bit better. It's in log at least, and we've got the finer decimal points here, so it looks a little bit less weird in my opinion. If we're looking at this from a relative high to a relative low, SwiftCoin, we don't really have any references from a past. Oh, I guess we do have some references from the past. Where are you going to go? You stopped here right at this monthly closing high. You might go up to this monthly closing low. Okay, yeah, let's run with that. What would that be in Bitcoin terms? That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. 5 zeros, 1, 2, 3. Maybe you go higher. Maybe you do exactly what you did this last time and you actually find resistance at the top of this range instead. Something like that. Pretty damn close to the 886, so we'll take the 886 into mind as well. 5 zeros, 188. So 5 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 5 zeros, 188. 1, 2, 3 times. I'm assuming Bitcoin will be worth 170 to 180K by the time SwiftCoin tops off, but let's just take a 140K price to mull things over a little bit. That gives you a 17-cent price, and this is on the lower end, so 17 cents, that makes sense to me. I could see that happening, right? 17, you could stop around there. But let's assume you go a little bit higher, and I think you would. If you do 1.88, or I guess it's 5 zeros, 188, so let's take that into consideration. 5 zeros, 188, times that same number, 140K. And this is just a rough guess. Bitcoin's probably going to be at higher prices than this. So again, this is probably a little bit conservative, but 26 cents. Yeah, right in that area that we're looking for. So it makes sense to me. It makes a lot of sense to me that by the end of this next move, by the end of this next endeavor, you will see SwiftCoin up at this 1.886 to 200 level, just like Onyx Coin, man. I think 24 to 30 cents is where you're going to go. Maybe right smack dab in the middle there at 26 cents. The race is on. Who's going to get there first between Onyx Coin and SwiftCoin? That's the question, right? Who's going to get to 20 cents first? My money's on Onyx Coin, but SwiftCoin's close, right behind it. It could take the lead at any point in time here, man. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say, guys. You've got hidden bullish divergence on the 3-day time frame. You've got hidden bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. Very constructive, very poised, and looking like you want to rip to new all-time highs. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if this next move was the strongest move that SwiftCoin's ever seen in its entire existence, and that's kind of the expectation, actually. So I guess I'll end it there. Daily time frame looks good. 4 hour looks neutral. 1 hour looks neutral. We'll figure it out soon enough. And I'm assuming that over the coming days, we'll begin breaking out of this bull flag here alongside with Onyx Coin. And that will send you up on a path that'll take you likely above 3 cents and potentially even above 4 cents or higher by the end of this month of April. Okay, that's all I got. Ta-ta. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.